What's up guys, Murray here with Murray's Mobile Mechanics and welcome to the channel. Today I'm working on a 2014 Honda Odyssey. This is a 3.5 liters V6 engine, and customer complaint was the car had no power. The car was actually vibrating, the engine check light was flashing, so I came to check it out. So let's get inside the vehicle, we verify the customer's complaint, and then we go from there. So right now I'm inside the vehicle and the car is running. Earlier on when I just came here, the car would not start, so I had to jump it from where it was parked originally to move it to here where there's some good working space. So right now the car is running. We have 251,999 miles. That's pretty some high mileage right there, and the engine check light is not on. So I think due to the battery being dead for quite some days, because they said they have not driven the vehicle for quite some number of days, so that's why maybe everything, you just went to sleep, and it will take a minute or two for the engine check light to be triggered. So I already connected my scanner, and this is the code we did find: P0301 Misfire number 1 cylinder, temporary DTC. So that's the only code we have. So right now the car is running perfectly fine, and like I said, customer told me to say the engine check light was flashing, which is not a good thing. And when the engine check light is flashing, always park your vehicle or have it checked. So he told me the engine check light was flashing, the engine was actually not having power, it was jerking, so that's why they parked it. So we are going to do a couple things to verify, to see whether it's the spark plug, ignition coil, and go from there. We are here under the hood right now. There is a plastic cover on the engine cover, top of the engine cover. Just grab yourself a screwdriver and then take these two screws out, and then they should come off just like so. We are going to put it on the side, and this is the V6. So I believe the firing order for this one is 153624, but the cylinder order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our number 1 should be in the back right there, very hidden. I don't know if we can actually get to it, but if you follow this wiring right here, it will take you to the number 1 ignition coil, where my hand is right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a simple test the old school way. We're going to move. I just want to make sure it's not a compression issue. So what I'll do is I'll move the spark plug from number 1 to number 2, and then number 2 spark plug to number 1, and then we're going to reset the memory of the computer, and then we'll run the vehicle and see if the misfire has followed. If it has followed, then definitely it's the spark plug. If it stays, then definitely it's the ignition coil. So we'll do that, and then let's get going. So it is not very possible to record the way the setup is at the back due to space, unless you take the car out. So I don't want to go that route, so I'm gonna use a 10mm wrench and this tiny screwdriver. We'll break loose the nuts that hold the ignition coils down, and then we'll disconnect the wiring going to the connector with the tiny screwdriver. Since we got the ignition coils out, now we are going to take the spark plugs out and switch number 1 to number 2 and number 2 to number 1 to see if the misfire will follow. So these are the tools you're gonna need: a ratchet, spark plug socket, which is a 5/8 gear wrench socket, and then the extension. So let's get there. It's tricky to get in there because it's in the back, so that's the best way I can actually get to them. So I managed to finally get the two spark plugs out, and definitely these are the ones right here. So let me see if I can focus. And it was tricky. I dropped an extension at some point. That's why you saw me try to use the M12, but it couldn't fit from this angle, so I had to pick up the extension and then connect it and then break loose the spark plug. So off the bat, this is how we are looking. This is the number one spark plug. You can see not in the good shape, and this is the number one right here. So they've seen actually a better life. I mean, they've been in this car, I think, ever since. Just look at how the number one is looking. Not too good, and I think it's actually got some oil right there. So this is the number two. Not too bad, but it's also seen a better life. So what I'm going to do for this customer, I don't even need to switch number two to number one. We can see off the bat that this spark plug is gone. So I'm going to recommend a tune up, and then I'll go from there. So let me hear what the customer says, and then I'll keep you posted. What's up, guys? So I just had a conversation with the customer, and for now they are just looking at doing one spark plug, which is this one right here, the number one. You can see the tip on the porcelain right there. It's not looking good, so I went ahead and bought one spark plug. We're going to change it. That's the part number right there, and these plugs are not cheap, so we'll just change one. And once they organize funds, they are looking at me doing a deeper dive into this one, do the compression test, and then to see if they can actually replace all the spark plugs. But by then we'll be replacing 5, and then the ignition coils too. So for now, like I said, they just want me to do the one spark plug, which is for the code P0301. So right now, let me get back to this one, and pretty much the process you saw me taking these two ignition coils and spark plugs is pretty much the same process. So we'll just do fast forward, and then we'll take care of that for now. What's up, guys? So we got the one spark plug in, but I did actually put back the number two as well. As you saw earlier on, I removed number one because we're trying to see if we can move number one to number two to number one spark plugs. But definitely looking at this is the number one spark plug. Definitely this is a bad spark plug, so we replace one with the new one. So right now we are going to go inside the vehicle, reset the engine check light, and then as soon as the customer gets all the funding, we'll definitely change the other. So stay tuned for that one. So let me go inside the vehicle, and then we reset that engine check light. I'm now inside the vehicle, and the car has to be on the on second position, which is the accessory where it lights up everything. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a quick erase, just like so. We're just letting the scanner do its thing, and you can see right there he just did erase the code we had. So pretty much like I said, for this one, even if I run the car, because even earlier on the engine check light was not on, but what we've done right now, we've just reset the computer, and we can actually run it just to see if anything can be triggered. so I guess I need to jump it. This car I think has got an issue with the barrier as well, so let me jump it and then we'll run it and then we'll go from there. So immediately after boosting the jump starter, it actually ran the car. I think my jump starter is actually running a little bit low. So let me take off my jumper and then we'll see what else we can find. What's up guys, so the car is running and I went into the engine to see if I can find any more trouble codes, and you can see right there are no more trouble codes. So pretty much that P0301 has been taken care of. So like I said, stay tuned for a depth video on how to actually replace all the 6 plugs and then the ignition codes. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share, and we'll see you on the next one.